was just looking at OLBG, and this game seems to be on today. So people are backing Valladolid to win. And we've been looking at this kind of stuff, so this is why this person thinks this is a good bet. And this person has at least a decent track record. Profit in 6 of the last 7 days. So I'm not just going to dismiss what he's saying. Or she. Valladolid to win and both teams to score. Okay, so that gives me something to look at. So then, go to Soccerstats. I'm just looking at the home and away table. So we've got Valladolid, who well they've won 5 out of 9 games. So the probability of them winning is slightly more than 50%. So slightly more than the odds should be. Slightly 2 is not bad. On the other hand, they're playing against Reus, who have one of the best away forms in the table. I think that person, I'll just flick back here just to see the comments. Blah, blah, blah. Reus are having a good season after their promotion. They are stronger in the travel than their homes. In the 6 games they have lost this season, they've all been by an odd goal. Okay. But I'm not going to overcomplicate it. So I'm going to go with at the end of the day, Reus have only lost 1 in 3 games. So based on the fact, okay, so if Valladolid were to play an average side, the odds should be about, 2.0 is about fair. Okay, they've won slightly more than a half. So it'd be slightly less than 2. 1.92 is much of a muchness. But Reus aren't an average away side. So I would say I would want to be paid more to back Valladolid to win. And just one more thing. So they seem to be 1-1. Like they concede less than a goal a game. But they roughly score a goal a game, concede a goal a game. That's a typical Reus away game. Valladolid seem to score more than a goal a game and concede less than a goal a game. Strange that they haven't won even more, because that's a very good defence and a decent attack. Okay, keep going. Then I can look at the goals conceded and scored. So we're familiar with this table when we're using the Poisson models. So they score 1.44, concede 0.44. So what does Poisson tell us? Plugging in those numbers into the model, we get nothing much. Yes, on average the home team scores roughly 0.75 of a goal, and they'll concede roughly half a goal. So there's not a huge difference. The draw is the most likely outcome, but home wins are not happening half the time. Okay. So the standout, the thing that's most likely to happen, is less than 3 goals. Again, this is just output using the assumptions of the Poisson model that I have here. And from what I've been reading here and there, it's pretty good, but it's not perfect. So I am doing variations of this model so that we get something even better. But this is at least something to look at. Okay. And from here as well, I can see Reus away have only had 3 or more goals 22% of the time, and Valladolid, or double L Spanish, Valladolid. Apologies for the pronunciations, but basically it's very unlikely to have 3 or more goals. Okay, so onto the betting page. We can see that under 3 goals is expected to happen. What's the probability? So this is having it at about 60%. Okay. So, it's not an incredible opportunity of a bet, but I don't think it's bad either. What's this? Oh yeah, and also I'm betting that Valladolid are not going to win, because the odds are basically evens. So again, we can get the probability. So it is saying that they're gonna win half the time, while I'm saying Reus only lose 1/3 of the time away. So they'll be an archetypal good away team will be they have a good defense and they have a counter attack. So they have fast players up front, so they can, while the home team are attacking, if they get more and more frustrated that they're not winning and they put more and more pressure attacking, that leaves them vulnerable at the back when Reus can counterattack. So that would be the kind of typical good away team. So that's just today's tip. Here I'm also adding the thing of using both the schools of thought, both the approaches. So, earlier on we would have been using Soccerstats to look at history, to look at data, to kind of go, okay, Levante seem to win all the time. I'm willing to back them to win at home. Likewise, I can look at the how often, say here, we've got these two teams, Numancia and Miranda's. They seem to have both teams to score very often, so I'd be willing to back them to have both teams to score. That kind of thing. And then we have the Poisson model, where we look at the average number of goals scored by a team at home and the average number conceded. We fit that to a Poisson. We use those inputs in our Poisson model. That simulates how many goals we expect the home and the away team to score. We do that 100,000 times. And then we look at how often does the home team, or how often from those 100,000 did the home team win? How often did we get a draw? How often did the away team win? And that kind of stuff. And essentially estimate our probabilities based on that. So we'll see how that goes.